Welcome back to another episode of Cobra Kai Kompanion, and I am Peter.
I'm Brianna.
And you guys, we have another interview, and returning for his umpteenth time is Nate. How you doing, Nate?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Good
Well,
morning.
yeah, doing all right. So just like some of our previous guests, you're one of the few cast members we've met in person during Dragon Con 2019. I just recently posted a video, but for me, like I think you're the youngest castmate we've had on so far, and so it's kind of been nice to kind of see you grow, mature, see you on the show. But what was it like returning for season 3? Like
Oh, it was
yeah, go ahead.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, I got to work again with the Well, in the finale, I got to meet the people from Cobra Kai again, which was really cool. And I also got to meet Joe for the first time.
Oh, right.
So, yeah, and he's pretty cool. And I don't know, it just seemed a lot. It was a lot different than my season 2 experience. Like both were good, but it's just like I had some like a bigger I guess existence or something, bigger presence in the show. I thought that was really awesome, especially the whole car wash scene. That was really fun to film.
Yeah, we'll definitely get there for sure. Um, so we saw you, let's see here. It was August 31st, 2019, and that was Labor Day weekend. And then a few days later, you guys started production. Um, Obviously, some of the cast members were at the meetup. You got to see them again. What was it like? You mentioned Joe. What was it like meeting some of the other people that you hadn't met yet before, like Annalisa, people like that?
Oh yeah. uh yeah. So yeah, everybody, like I said last time, everybody on the set is really awesome to work with. And specifically on Lisa, we had like this just one little part together at the very beginning, I think. Maybe, I think it was like the first episode, probably.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, she was really nice to work with. It's really cool because I don't want to give away too much, but the for season 3, they rebuilt like the entire school indoors, like as a set. And it was really because they built it like exactly the same way it was from the fight. So it was crazy just being able to see like how similar it was. Like everything is exactly the same. So it feels like you should be at an actual school. You can walk at the doors, it's not. And like I realized that she had never been there. So we're trying to, all the cast members are trying to show her like this is exactly how it looked in the actual, like at the actual school that we filmed at. But no, she wasn't there, so she didn't really get it. But like it's pretty crazy.
Right. Yeah. I think most people that follow us probably have seen my photo of me laying on the steps where Miguel falls down.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got to go to the set, the actual set one, right? The
Yeah.
set version of school. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So we did get to see that too. So
Yeah.
just like you said, like Hayden walked us in, and we're just like, oh my God, like we
This
went
looks really
from a
familiar.
warehouse, to an. So yeah, we completely get it.
Yeah, and we had to be super careful when we took the photos in there not to show the girders and rafters and things above. He was
Yeah.
like, don't kill the illusion and just keep it down to where, because it felt like a school, and walking down the hallway to the cafeteria, it's like, oh my God, we're walking through a school. This is like just the most amazing thing.
Yeah, I mean, Brianna, like the one doors that we walked into to the lockers, that was a whole ass hallway.
Yeah, it was. It really was. It was awesome. The set direction and the set crew did an amazing job rebuilding that
Yeah,
school.
for sure.
I'm gonna ask real quick, just because before we get into it really deep. When we met you, you were 13.
Yeah, something like that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. How old are you
Yeah.
now?
Maybe he
I
had
am
just turned
15
14.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 15 now.
Wait,
Oh.
when do you turn 16 then? Did you just turn 15?
Yeah, I turned 15 in September. So
Okay,
He
so you
was
I've got
13. It was just before his 14th birthday we met him then.
yeah, I guess so.
Wow. Stop. I told Owen the same thing. Stop
Yeah.
growing up. Just stop.
I didn't realize that you were that much younger than Owen. Uh, when we
Yeah.
first spoke, but yeah, and then when we met you, you guys were relatively like the same height as well. So yeah, I guess when we met you in person, you were just about to turn 14. So we interviewed you at 13.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
It's really weird being like seeing my character when I was 13, like what, like seeing season like clips from season 2
Too. Hmm.
when I was like, oh my god, my voice is
Well,
yeah.
well, not only that, like I post a lot of like images and screenshots and stuff like that, and like one of mine is still of used, Nathaniel sitting in front of Daniel in the dojo from season 2. So it is definitely like a stark difference, between the
Yeah,
seasons.
it's weird how they're gonna fit that, make it look like I'm still the same, because it's still supposed to be like 2019, I think, in the show,
Well,
because
we
it was
left.
Uh,
It was
just
still
the summer.
2018, December
2018.
19th. It's
Oh my gosh.
still
yeah,
2018 where we are. You guys have been
almost.
in 2018 for 3 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
in the
I'm still
timeline.
supposed to be the same, almost the same age, and
Right,
It
right.
it's
And
been
happens.
like,
Miguel is
yeah,
still supposed to be, 16, maybe just turned
No,
17.
no, he's 17 now.
And
Carmen
Sholo's
said it.
like, 29 and
yeah.
full beard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he's the
crazy
next
how
sensei.
yeah, how they make it look like we're the same. Like I think I had like braces and glasses, and like yeah, and I swapped it all out in season 3. I had no braces. I grew a lot more, and then I had no glasses, and then now I'm back to glasses just because I like glasses better. So
Is that like a decision that was made about the glasses? Because I thought that you were without glasses because you got jumped by Cobra Kai.
yeah, so what happened was I had my I used glasses all throughout season 2, but then
Mhm.
like after season 2 finished, I switched to contacts, like contact lenses, and I used those. But then yeah, so then during season 3, I just had like these fake glasses where like I had no lenses at all, that like just props gave to me.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it was pretty funny. And then I'm not sure exactly what happened, but when Hawk jumps me, I guess he hit like a part of my brain that made my vision all of a sudden perfect or something.
Cobra Kai does this. It cures
Yeah,
asthma. It,
it
it it
does.
cures paralysis, and it
Peanut
fixes.
allergies, everything.
Yeah, it fixes. Distance vision. There you
Yeah,
go. Disappearing, reappearing braces, I think, is something that we could probably do an entire episode on. Because Sholo had disappearing braces,
Cholo.
you
Yeah,
had disappearing braces. Now Owen has magically appearing braces. So yeah, if we did that with all the kids, imagine. I mean, if we actually paid attention, how many of those kids
yeah,
have gotten and taken off braces in the last 4 or 5 years?
yeah.
It's really cool. They don't even mention it. So
Yeah, they just play it like just one day they just all decide to go together and get their braces off or something.
right there you go, or just
Yeah,
grab the pliers and yank them off.
yeah.
Because you're all tough guys. My husband did that. Oh, his mother was so mad.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway, are you driving yet?
not yet. Just like as soon as I was like about to get my permit, uh, production started up, and yeah, I haven't been able to go and get my permit yet.
Are you looking
Hopefully, I will though.
forward to driving in Atlanta traffic, or are you terrified of driving in Atlanta traffic?
Well, traffic isn't crazy bad right now because COVID, everybody's staying inside
Right.
mostly. So yeah, I think that now would be a great time to try to get it and learn, because it's not like like crazy Atlantic traffic.
Right. Matt Lewis was talking about it the other day because Atlanta is like Chicago. It's one of those towns where or cities, where I live in a town. Most people live in
Yeah,
cities where everywhere you want to go, you just hop off and on the interstate.
Yeah.
for the majority of it. And Matt Lewis was posting about that, like getting all the way from the left to the right in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's Chicago. I can't drive in big cities. I'm terrible at it. So kudos to you if that's where you learn to drive.
Thank you. I hope I'll be able to learn soon.
Oh, I'm sure. And you'll be able to drive anywhere in the world if you can drive in a city like Atlanta.
Just to throw it out for any Nathaniel fans, let's see. I think the last time you came on our podcast on video is with Owen, and we did the table reading where you read as Miyagi and
Mm-hmm.
Owen did Kreese. And I'm sure you came on some other things as well. I feel there's one other collaboration with Owen, maybe. But anyway, but since you have been on, obviously season 3 has premiered, but also we haven't really talked with you about like what has it been like for you with the move from YouTube to Netflix, all the new fans, and what has it been like for you, just kind of out and about, like because are you homeschooled or are you distancing, distance learning?
Um. Well, just this year, like halfway through this semester, I switched from like a public school to like a fully virtual school.
Hmm.
So yeah. So now I'm virtual, but like as of like 3 weeks ago, I wasn't. I was just a regular public school person.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, the switch from Netflix was, well, obviously there's a bunch of new people. I didn't expect it. Like everybody knew it was going to be like a lot of like everybody knew there's going to be a lot of fans and stuff, but like nobody expected it to be like that big. It blew up like crazy, and it was just really really like I don't know. It's really weird for me to because we have Netflix and we just like hop on and like to just see Cobra Kai like sitting at like the number one spot. I forgot how long it was sitting there for
Very
quite
long
a while.
time. Yeah,
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah, multiple weeks. I think it's like at like more than like two. I think at least.
Hmm.
And then yeah, it was really really weird because like I had friends who the only reason why they wouldn't watch Cobra Kai was because of the whole what do you call it, not having the YouTube
The
premium or
subscription,
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
but
didn't want us, yeah.
like now I think like almost everybody has Netflix. Like I say most people that I know have Netflix. So like I know a bunch of people at my school who started watching it. And yeah, it's really weird because like I don't know, like you just see it, like start getting a bunch of DMs from people. By the way, I do read through a lot of them, and and
So
yeah,
don't
it's
be weird and
just
creepy because he's only 15.
please do not do that.
Oh no.
Not that
That's a
anybody's
little
done that.
telling.
It's just
Oh,
I would appreciate it if we could keep the streak going.
there we go. So, what do
Yeah.
your friends think of you being on Netflix? Do they tease you about it, or do they think it's awesome, or is it like a combination of both?
It's a combination of both. So all my close like my close friends, I mean, they still treat me the same. It's like I'm just still their friend, but like a lot of the people from my school are like, I don't know. It's like it's pretty weird because they'll be like, because they watch it obviously, so they'll be like, "Whoa, did you actually get to meet Peyton and Lance and stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got to meet them." And then like it's funny because like a lot of times I'll just play jokes on them. I'll be like, "No, actually, they have me in a separate room that's a green screen, and they just Photoshop me into every frame." And they'll actually believe it sometimes because it's the film industry. Anything's possible.
Right.
It sounds like you've been hanging around the writers too much. You know,
Yeah.
you really embody your character there. So I guess kind of on that note, you kind of already answered it, but now having moved to virtual distancing, obviously you're on screen with a bunch of students. What was that like? Like being like maybe the first time you had to log on, seeing all those people. I don't think the teacher would just announce like, oh hey, one of our students is on Cobra Kai.
Oh well, actually how my school works is it isn't like a Zoom. Like there
Hmm.
isn't like classes. It's just everybody has their own like course type of thing. It's really weird. Like there's no meetings that we go to.
Okay.
Instead, it's like everybody has their own like course, and
Okay.
as long as you like, you could be like 3 weeks behind or 3 weeks ahead. Doesn't matter. You work at your own pace. So like if I have to work or something like that, then I can just go, and if I know I'm going to work, just do a bunch of school on the weekends and get it all down so that for the rest of the week I can go ahead and do other things like working and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's
I
it's really
guess
cool.
I guess it's I kind of forget because I don't have kids in high school right now. So my oldest that is in school is a third grader. So
Okay.
so I haven't been able to kind of like because the other two have already graduated, you know. So so I didn't even think about that. So I guess that's actually kind of cool that you can work at your own
Yeah,
pace.
yeah, it works for me because yeah, I don't have to get a bunch of absences. And yeah, absences were a really big problem third season and second season. But I was in middle school still, so it wasn't really like a huge deal. But now that I'm in high school, they're like, yeah, this is a lot of absences. So you need to figure something out. So yeah, we just hopped over to actually like completely virtual.
Oh, that's a good idea because those absences, you don't think that the college recruiters and admissions guys look at those, but they do. So
Yeah.
you've got to look at, applying for college in 3 years and all that stuff too. So
Gosh, I would hope that they'd be able to get a chance to kind of explain, be like, oh yeah, well those absences, you know, I was filming, you
Actually,
know,
yeah,
so
working and stuff. Yeah,
right.
that'd be awesome if they actually like
right, if they
listen and
if they
stuff.
did ask, yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, so have you? I mean, you've only done Cobra Kai. So what are you looking at when you go to college? Are you wanting to be an acting major? Or are you wanting to follow your dad into the medical field? Where do you think you might want to go?
Hmm. So that's actually I don't know exactly what I want to do.
That's a very mom
Maybe
question. I
yeah.
apologize.
I know I want to do acting. I would like to pursue acting, but I also want to go to college and like at least do something in college to just as like a backup kind of thing. But yeah, I'm not sure what I want to do. I think maybe something with like science or math, but I don't know. Something.
You like math humor, you know,
I
maybe.
do. I do.
You know, like you hear stories about Elizabeth Shue, right? And you know, she didn't return for the Karate Kid Part Two because college. Natalie Portman, you know, she was in Star Wars, but then also college. So you know, people do it. So I don't see why you can't continue working and going to school at the same time. So, but you know, we have enough time until you make those decisions.
Yeah.
But season three, I would imagine like going back to work it was like going back to school in a sense, right? Like quite
Mhm.
literally, but also you're seeing. We mentioned Annalisa and Joe. You hadn't met yet that were from season one. Brooks also Bo. So did you get to meet Bo at all?
Um, I don't. I don't think so. Or if we did, it was like really brief, like while we are passing by or something.
Right,
We never
right.
we never got to have like a full like conversation or whatever. But I'd like to meet him. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, yeah. Bo's a really nice guy too. But can you just talk about like the process of when you guys are first getting back, meeting everyone again? Like, are you part of the table reads?
Yeah, for season three, there was they just brought in most of the yeah, I think everybody who was in Atlanta at the time came, and if not, they just had like somebody else. Like for I'm not sure who. I think Peyton wasn't there, or she was busy. She's a really busy person. She has other things she's also needs to work on. So I think she didn't make it to the table. So they have like a female reader and a male reader that
Mm-hmm.
just read anybody who's not there, or
Mm-hmm.
like anybody who they haven't casted, or all those types of things. So that was really, yeah, that was actually a really cool experience just to be able to walk in. It's really scary too because they have a bunch of cameras all over, just like looking straight at us. And I was like, oh yeah, you guys are just keeping this just to like reference or something, right? And they're like, no, we're sending these to like Sony. So I was like, oh okay, yeah,
Oh, interesting.
that's pretty scary. Yeah, so
So when they set you up for the table reads, do they have like Ralph and Billy at the head of the table and then Cobra Kai down one side and Miyagi-Do down
I'm
the
not
other? Do
sure.
they separate you?
I don't remember there being like a super specific order. I just know that there's like these little name tag things, and that's just where we sit. I know that uh yeah, Billy and Ralph, I'm pretty sure we're at the very like front, and the table's a weird shape. It's like a U shape. So yeah, but they're at the head because obviously they're the big people, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't remember there being a super specific order. Maybe there was, and I just wasn't paying attention. But yeah,
So do you go out like on the street? I know it's really hard to judge this since everyone's been wearing masks since anything that would get you recognized. But do people that you do not know, like if you are, out walking with the family or whatever, do people recognize you?
well, people don't recognize me because I have like the mask and whatever. I'm like a foot taller, but like I
Right?
was out I was out the other day. I think I was at like a Whole Foods or something. I was wearing a season. My the production gave us like a little gift. It's like a jacket, and it says like season 3 or whatever. And I was wearing it out, and some guy was like, "Oh, that's such a cool jacket, bro. I love that show." And I don't know why, but I didn't tell him that I was in the show. I was like, "Yeah, that's so cool. That it is my favorite show too." And we just yeah, like I it was really yeah. I don't
Bonding
know.
with some rando at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's you being humble, but also secondly, like you know, I don't know, like I find myself in that position. I don't know what do I say. I don't know. You and I are obviously completely different. You know, I might be like, yeah, man, yeah, I'm on the show. You want to wear my jacket, take a picture with it? I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know what I would do, to be
This is
honest
why
with
you're
you.
not an actor, Peter.
Yes, yes, this is very true. No, but if I was, I'd probably be like one of the friendliest guys out there, just like, yeah, yeah, sure, you want a picture? All right, well, cool, cool, whatever. Um, yeah, no, that's I think we were just talking with Owen, and we were talking about how during Dragon Con, Cobra Kai mom Mandy was having you guys like go take pictures with people wearing Cobra Kai gear, and they didn't know who you guys were.
Yeah, that was
So
really funny.
yeah, so and we were telling Owen like it'd be funny if those people went back and look at those
And looked
photos.
at it.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that was Bert and Nathaniel. What the hell?
Yeah, I always thought that something like that would be funny. Like they don't realize it until like after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought that would be funny, like something interesting to
Yeah,
talk
and
about.
I had mentioned yesterday that when you guys were standing in line, you two and Connor and I think Cameron was there in line for the panel, and no one knew they were standing next to you. And then when we all
Yeah,
file inside, like you guys are like right in front of the stage just because of where you were in line, and no one knew they were sitting next to you. Because I remember when Billy called Owen out specifically because he saw him and you
hmm
guys were all sitting there. Um, like everybody around where you boys were sitting was like, like gasping and stuff. It was hilarious. And Amy and I are sitting over to the side, like, yeah, we knew that. But it was awesome. And you're not gonna be able to do that anymore, are you?
yeah, yeah, COVID, whatever. Can't really
Well,
go
no, I
out
meant
and
I meant
stuff.
the
But
the obscurity is gone. I'm
oh
looking to a
yeah,
future where conventions
are
are a
back and
thing again because I miss them
yeah,
horribly.
yeah, that'd be really fun to be able to go to one. And uh, I'm not sure if I would like getting recognized. Like it's cool, but like I'm pretty awkward, especially with like newer like people who I just met. So I don't know how I would react. I can't even imagine. But I think hopefully I don't come off as being like weird or anything.
It's a different time for everybody in the world. Like my daughter, she's 2 now, and my sister-in-law and her boyfriend, they've been quarantining, and they got to come visit, and it's been months since they've seen her in person, and so they show up and their family, and my daughter, she's not only shy but like, well, who are you guys? Like she doesn't know who they are, and so yeah, for a lot of kids, they've been inside and they have not yet met other people outside of who lives in the home. So yeah, it's really different for everybody. I feel there's going to be some reservations for a lot of people wanting to, like, shake hands or even be close. I'm always keeping a distance when I talk to people. So yeah, it will be interesting. Yeah, let's jump into Cobra Kai. I'm sure you said that you read a lot of the DMs, and I know a lot of people love to connect characters just because. The only pairing that I saw that could have been related was possibly you and Joe, just because you guys are both Korean.
Oh yeah, I get that question a bunch, and
Mm.
like people are always like, "Hey, are you his younger brother?" Or like they'll always ask like if we're related. Some people think that we're like actually like like our like the actor, like I'm actually related to Joe, like the
Oh,
person, not the character. I'm like, yeah, no, but
yeah. You guys have an O in your last names. That's it.
yeah, that's like the closest.
Right.
But yeah, it's super. He was super cool to speak to because he's the only other. Is he the only other Asian person? I know he's the only other
Yes.
Korean, but
Right.
yeah, it's really really cool to just talk to him because he does what I want to do.
Hmm.
He's able to do like all these different acting gigs and stuff. And he lives in LA, which is where I would love to live.
Yeah.
The weather and stuff. But yeah, it was really cool to work with him. And speaking of that little fight thing, I think every single person that was there, like everybody's fights were supposed to be a little bit longer, but just because of the like length of it, that trimmed them down. So that was really unfortunate. Like me and Owen had like a whole little section. I don't want to like talk about it too much, but we had like this. Everybody had this little like an extra little section, like a whole extra part. That just because the time episode 10, they just had, or yeah, 9, 10, they had to cut it out, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah,
Mm.
he told us about that one, but he didn't
Oh
want to go
really?
too far either because he didn't know, because stuff has a
Yeah,
tendency to come back up. Um,
yeah. They a lot of the fights that if it doesn't work out or they don't get to it, they'll keep the same choreography or something, and they'll save it for next time or like those kind of things. So
Right.
I don't want to talk about it too much.
Sure.
so you did mention that you had the little sequence with Annalisa. Your one of your first lines of the season is one of the absolute funniest because Nate should not know what he says as he walks through that
Yeah,
door. As you walk past her, you go, "Sup, front wedgie,"
yeah.
and
Well,
I
I
remember
mean,
he
I
really
remember doing
shouldn't
that.
know that.
that
So
that's well, that's not true. I mean, Nathaniel was not at the beach, but there was a lot of phones, so
Yeah.
kids are
And
gonna see
I was in
that.
Cobra Kai, so maybe somebody like told my character or something.
Yeah, yeah. Word gets around. Come on, it's a
Yeah.
front wedgie. How does that not get around?
that
The whole
that that
school knows.
that line is hilarious, and I loved that they gave it to you instead of someone who was there. So
Yeah, I didn't actually see the line until the table read. So like I didn't get the script beforehand, so I wasn't expecting it. I just saw it, I was like, wow, okay. But yeah, that was pretty fun to do.
her reaction to you is just like, and I don't think
Yeah.
Peter, at least at first, didn't realize it was you because you can
No.
just barely see your lips moving as you walk through the door. And I'm like, yeah, that was
Yeah.
absolutely Nate who said that. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's hilarious.
A lot of the times, oh, actually, I watch everything with subtitles on. So a lot of times I find myself reading as well. So I've
Instead of
always
yeah.
read front wedgie, but I never really looked up to see who said it. I actually thought that it was one of those things where somebody else was
Oh,
calling
from the
it
back.
out. Yeah, and you guys just happened to be looking at her in passing. But I think when Brianna told me the next time I watched it, I go, "Oh, it's clearly Nate that
Yeah.
says it." Yeah. Um, I remember the very first time I spoke with you. It was one of those situations where, you know, season 3 had been put on the back burner, in terms of release. And when we were speaking, you were kind of confusing season 2 and 3 a little bit.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You remember this?
Yeah, I remember some of it. Yeah.
you were starting to kind of tell me like some of your
Yeah.
favorite sequences in season 3, and your
Oh my
mom
God.
had
Yeah,
to,
because it was such a while back. Like
yeah,
because they just kept it like on the shelf and they weren't releasing it for such a long time
yeah,
that like uh
everything blended in together.
yeah, it started blending together and
So your mom had to cut you off, but I
yeah.
think you were gonna share that's some of your favorite moments. I'm assuming you were about to tell me the sequence between you and Owen, kind of mouthing off to each other. I feel,
Um
at the door,
yeah,
about your face and the funeral. Like I think
yeah.
you were gonna tell me about that scene.
Yeah, I probably was. I don't remember because it's such a long time ago, but there's a bunch of cool stuff I was dying to tell you guys. Like the oh yeah, I now remember. I remember telling you about that because I forgot by now, but like they had us doing a bunch of different lines, just trying them out, like improvising different things to say. Like yeah, I really can't remember them. They're just like it was pretty funny because the thing about the big three is they're very easygoing. So if they think of something on the spot, they'll be like, "Hey, why don't we try saying it this way?" Or, "Hey, how about we switch the lineup and try saying this instead?" We think that that'll be funny, and so they did that a few times. And I guess the one that they liked the most was if you died, I wouldn't even attend your funeral.
I loved it. I laughed
Yeah,
my ass off.
I think that one was my favorite.
Yeah, it's hysterical because it's just like who thinks like that,
Yeah, that's such a specific, like oddly specific, and
right?
so yeah,
Tiny little karate nerd boys. That's who think like
yeah.
that.
Right. Yeah.
So you were talking a little bit about the you got to be one of the let's say wump puppies of season 3. You were the one that you had a heck of a scene at the car wash.
Oh, I have so many things to talk about in that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
So I remember seeing a post about like they're like, how did Hawk fit his hair into his helmet?
Oh, you know what? I saw that too because yeah. So obviously he's got the mohawk, and then they have to
Hmm.
cut it. I don't know if they have like a stand-in that comes in on the bike, and then they have Jacob come in and just like do that thing. But it reminds me, like, are you a fan of Batman at all?
Batman, yeah,
Did did, did you see
yeah,
Batman Returns, the one with the Penguin
returns.
and Catwoman?
Yeah, I think I might have. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
So there's a point towards the end of Batman Returns where Batman rips off his cowl. For
Hmm.
those that know, every Batman, they always paint like black around their eyes when they put on the cowl. And so Batman rips off his cowl and he has no black makeup around
Nothing.
his eyes.
Yeah,
So it kind of reminded me of that. It's like, well, Batman just ripped off the makeup too.
yeah.
But yeah, Jacob's hair is still like intact,
So
or Hawk's hair is intact.
yeah, so what happened was I remember they originally wanted to do like a different type of motorcycle, but like that kind of motorcycle, I guess they couldn't ride. The actors couldn't ride, so they had stunt people ride in on all those. I think Hiro might have been one of them,
Mm,
but they had to ride in on those motorcycles. And then during the part where he takes it off, instead of taking off of his head, they had Jacob come in, sit on the motorcycle in the same spot, and he'd put the helmet next to his head, but the camera would be seeing it from like that side.
right.
So when he takes it off, it would look like he took it off of his thing. It was really funny. Like I think I have a couple pictures of behind the scenes where he's just holding it next to his head. That's pretty funny.
Oh, they
And
the
yeah,
the camera work on that then is awesome because you would think that the mohawk would stick up behind it.
behind it, yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
sure
like over the
exactly how.
top, but that's
It's probably just the angle, the angle that they
yeah.
shoot
Yeah,
it at to hide it.
Okay, so that's how Hawk doesn't actually wear his helmet. He just carries it.
yep.
There we go.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Why Jacob's mom told me to tell him to wear a helmet. In one of his videos, I forgot what he was doing, but he wasn't wearing a helmet. His mom's like, "Can you tell him to put on a helmet?"
There you go.
Okay, I mean, um, so the car wash scene, Nathaniel is collecting money.
Mhm.
You gave us a little behind the scenes there about the helmet. What else do you remember about filming that day? And I remember when Hannah came on, she said that everybody was just laughing hysterically when Khalil was filming his moment with the nipples on the
Yeah,
windshield.
on the windshield. Yeah, that was so funny. And I remember it was pretty hot, So like I think he might have accidentally like burned himself on his leg. So what they had to do was they had to bring in like because he wasn't he's like I don't know why, but he didn't tell anyone that his leg was burning until like after. But like what they had to do was they're like, shoot, if you should have told us. So they brought in like um it's like a step stool pretty much and like a towel that he would be because I'm pretty sure his leg was like on the car, like
Right.
the hood of the car. So they had to bring like a blanket or something like that. And I just remember that was pretty funny to film that just because the way that he plays his character. Like when I read it, I'm like, that's kind of weird. But like when he actually did it, like it was hilarious. And they had like different. I remember them having to bring like cameras inside of the car, so they had to like get it from different angles and stuff. And it was really cool because that was like one of my like just that entire scene. I think that might have been one of my first times filming not on the actual set. I
Mm.
think besides the
On
to fight,
location.
of course. Yeah, on location. That
Right.
Is so after that, when you show up at the LaRusso house, you got like
mhm.
I don't know if I would call it the joy of all joys, but we keep track of them. The first F bomb of the season.
Yeah, I think that might have been the only one too because they
Yeah. It usually goes to Jacob.
yeah, what they had to do was so when I went ahead and said that they had me try different like some of them with the F word, some of them without it, just because they weren't sure who they wanted to give the F word to. They had I think it was Mary had one line with the F word in it too, but
Mm.
they only were allowed to get like one F word, I
Well, what
think,
a season, yeah.
because or else like the rating would change or something. I'm not sure
Right, to
exactly how
keep
it works,
it
but
yeah, to keep
yeah,
it TV 14.
yeah, some sort of rating, yeah. So yeah, so I had to try it out all different ways. And speaking of that scene, the amount of makeup I had to put on was crazy. Just the blood, because like they had to keep on making sure. I guess it was like moist or like it looked like blood, and so
That it
they
was
had
still
like
fresh, maybe.
yeah, they had like all sorts of different little things that they would put on me. Like they had like like it looks like a deodorant stick, but it's like
Mhm.
completely dark brown, and it looks like it's supposed to be like fake dirt. And so they put it all over my shirt, and then to get like scissors and slice up my shirt, and like I remember they even got like the like a little brush with like brown powder, and they put it underneath my nails. Like did like super specific stuff to make it look like I was like thrown around in asphalt. Yeah.
You know, the makeup department, I've never spoken with anybody from there, but they do a great job. And you know, like I remember season one, I spoke with Voss Sanchez, and he was talking about how like he came to the set to film the convenience store scenes. And when he first bumped into Susan Gallagher, he thought she was a real homeless person because of the makeup and what they did with her teeth and her clothes. So yeah, kudos to the makeup department for sure. When they were applying like your blood and stuff, was
Mhm.
there any discussion as to why they were making you look a certain way? The reason I'm asking this because I think I tagged you, but I did that side by side of you and Chosen from season two.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember seeing that.
Yeah. Was that just a
So
coincidence?
I think it might have just been a coincidence, but all I know is they really wanted a bruise on my eye so that they could make the reference to where we put the aviator sunglasses on to hide my bruise, because that's what Mr.
Daniel.
LaRusso does
Yeah.
in the original Karate Kid.
You were
So
right, Peter. You
yeah,
caught it.
Oh yeah, I just shared that one too. I think you probably
yeah,
also saw.
yeah. I have it. Okay.
Funny enough, Mary also liked that post, which is random. So she doesn't follow me, so I'd imagine it popped up on Discover or whatever.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome that they actually, I mean, obviously it confirms that that's a, Karate Kid Easter egg, but that they told you it was going to be.
Yeah, they because the makeup, they just kind of let the makeup like do their own thing, but like if they want something specific, like like we need a bruise on it, like right eye, I think, then they go ahead and they do like specific things. I remember for like I think it's like scabs and stuff, they had to like mold it because it's like it's not just like 2D like painted onto you.
Mm.
It's like actually like a three-dimensional like little thing that they carved out. I think they might have done that for Sam's scars too or something. But yeah,
Oh,
it
they look
was really interesting.
fantastic.
They just like apply it on, and like it looks like I actually got demolished.
I mean, you look like you got beat up pretty good, and I would go as far as to say probably worse than Daniel, in the first movie, that jumping by the cobras. But I mean, your appearance, it looked like, like at least 3-on-1. It looks like at least two held you while you were getting beat. I mean, we'll go we'll go in details when we get to that episode, but I got a lot of things to say about the way you look and the fact that you're not in a hospital. I don't know if Nathaniel fought back, but you know, he's not in the hospital. That's a good thing to say.
Yeah,
It's the Karate Kid universe. Cops don't exist, and people only go to the hospital when their spine is broken.
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
Or if you're gonna go visit somebody.
Yeah.
One of the things that I particularly like about that scene when you show up at Sam's house is that we've always seen Nate, at least so far, because he's been kind of a background character with just a few lines here and there. Like, kind of shy, kind of awkward, kind of quiet, nerdy little guy.
Mhm.
To that you end the school fight getting dragged down the hallway, punching at Owen, thrown over the security guard's shoulder.
Oh yeah.
But in that scene, when you step around, like what we see of Nate's personality
Mhm.
is something we've never seen from him before. And
Yeah.
I like that because there's like a strength to him that we haven't seen before. And he's seriously pissed. Like this child has a temper.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah, that was really I don't know, it was a funny that was really fun because it was like that was like the first time my character had like something that wasn't like just regular comedic relief, like how
Mm-hmm.
normally my character was just like I don't know, I guess gets rid of stress or something. I don't know. He just like cracks a joke or something. But that was like the first time I think that was like actually like a serious story type thing. My character. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, you just said it. It was that moment was not comedic relief. It was not any levity. It was serious. It was
Yeah.
shocking. Like yeah, we know that you got beat up, and we probably all just expected a black eye, but your clothing, everything
Yeah.
else, the dripping blood. Yeah, I think that leaves a lot to the imagination to kind of just picture what happened previously. Um, but I do like how everyone shows up. It's like we want to talk to your dad.
Right. And it's also it's kind of the setup for the fight at the laser tag.
Yeah.
Because that's something that's like, they that like immediately they all want to go out and get revenge for Nate.
Hmm.
And yeah, we can't let him do this to us anymore and that kind of thing. So yeah, I love that scene. I really do.
I'm trying to think what else was there before we get into the big fight at the end. Um,
I think it was just some training sequences and things, wasn't it? Like Daniel yelling at you guys that you weren't doing good enough and
Yeah, I didn't really have that much stuff during those few episodes that after my whatever the getting beaten up by Hawk and Mitch. Besides that, I don't think there's really that much going on. I think I might have told you guys this, but one time, so Ralph, I don't know why, but people
oh,
always like whenever they swear around
the
me, they have
fundraiser. It was you and I were on
that's
that.
when it
That
was.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was the live fundraiser. Yeah, go ahead. Oh,
yeah,
actually, I thought about that earlier, and then I forgot till you mentioned it again.
yeah. So yeah, it's really funny because a lot of people like when I'm on set, like if they swear, right, they turn around and they see me and they're like super surprised. They're like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that around you." And then I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's fine." But like I remember Ralph. It's really funny, especially when like somebody who I work with, like I remember what was that line that I said to him in season 2? Like I swear, like my character
Don't be a
swears. So like
pussy.
yeah, don't be a pussy. So like obviously I'm not like I don't know, like I'm fine with hearing that kind of stuff. But like one time like Ralph accidentally like slipped the F bomb or something like that because he was because he has a lot of lines and stuff, so he was like messed up once. And he's like, oh bleep. And then he's like, oh shoot, sorry, I didn't mean to say that in front of you. It's really funny because they just like expect me to like my ears are like so innocent I can't hear that stuff. But like literally my character says that like in the show. So
It's a
Right.
parent thing.
yeah,
I
It
mean,
is.
I was
true.
apologizing to Owen because I let a couple things slip yesterday. I'm being very careful not to cuss around you right now. It's a parent thing. Once you've raised kids, you are very careful not to cuss in front of other people's kids. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
You know, on that note, it's funny because yesterday somebody in my comments they came across my video of me filming my son watching Daniel and Chosen fight, and then the comment was something like, "Dude, that's the show's TV 14," and I just replied, "Okay," because
Yeah.
he's
Okay.
watching it with me. He's not watching it by himself, so at least there's
Mhm.
parental guidance. I know the
Yeah.
show is TV 14, but he's 8 years old. Like there's kids that are probably younger than him that are watching it. But
Yeah.
I feel 8 is probably that like the youngest threshold. Um, we've been doing like a rewatch and kind of jumping around a little bit, but he hadn't seen the first season because he was 6 at the time. So, so
Mhm.
he actually started watching like mid season 2, I think last year. And then season 3 came out. He watched all of season 3, and then we went back and then watched all the episodes he hadn't seen. So luckily for me, as a kid, like he doesn't care about like the continuity or like things are out of
Mhm.
order. He enjoys the fight. He loves the character of Daniel. He loves Miguel. He likes seeing you. He wants to do uh, dance with you on Instagram Live. He's
Oh.
told me that. I was like, I'll ask. I'll see. But I on a previous birthday of yours, I think it might have been 2 birthdays ago. I did a post and I said that I think it's great that they have a character like you who looks like my son. My son also wears glasses, and it's nice for him to see someone that looks like him.
Mhm.
So it was important for me to bring Joe back to talk to him because he was my first interview. And again, like the show about karate, like we have so very few Asian people on the show.
Mhm.
Season 3, we had a lot more, but a lot of them were also in Okinawa and in Tokyo.
Yeah.
But in
Mhm.
terms of like the main cast, you and Joe are the only Asians. You know, so I think that was like 2 different comments I made. Either way, Brianna, you got anything else before we start talking about the fight?
Nope, I think we are ready for the fight.
All right.
Cool. Cool.
So yeah, take us through that, like the preparations, because we know that it was supposed to be outside originally, and so then you guys had to improvise and do it inside.
Okay, so I know about the inside. Like it was such a crazy. Like I'm not sure how many days we spent on it. I think it was like at least 3 days
Wow.
just on that. Yeah, like just doing that kind of the whole fight, like the whole thing. Because first of all, there's something called a oneer. I don't know if you know what that is,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
but it's like where you take one take and you do like a whole sequence of things. And just doing that, like if there's just one thing that doesn't go right, you can't just cut out that one part. You need to reset the entire thing. And with the amount of like props and stuff that they had, like um I remember they're like smashing vases and going through like tables and slamming the walls and stuff. And so like the Christmas tree that me and Ellen got thrown into, that made it into the final thing, right?
It
So
did, and it was more of like kind of in the background. Like you have to be looking for it to see
yeah,
it, but you guys do get like kind of just slid right into the
yeah.
tree or thrown in. I kind of forget.
So I remember that they had to. I mean, there's so many things that are getting messed up in that one little take thing that they need to come in like directly after everybody comes in. They start picking up and trying to make everything look exactly the same that it was, so that they can get multiple takes of it. So I remember like it wasn't actually me that went to the tree and had my stunt double do that.
Yeah,
And
Owen said that was his double side. Yeah, you
yeah,
guys wanted to do
so
it, right?
Yeah, I would have loved to. It's just I don't know. They really want to keep us safe, I guess. So
There's all
yeah,
these laws and things
you have
about
rules and
sliding
stuff.
children
Yeah,
into Christmas trees. Yeah.
yeah.
Is that
I
one of
would
those
assume that
amendments?
would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, when they like the boxes were like destroyed when they would land on them, and then they need to like try to figure out a way to puff up the boxes again and put the Christmas tree back and put all the ornaments back on, and then like there's like broken like vases, so they need to sweep up all that, and so that just takes a lot of time in itself, and then like I think for Owen's like the part where Owen gets thrown through a window, I think we might have just gotten that one take, and and then like of course it's like not safe for him to lay down on glass even if it's breakaway glass, so then you sweep that up and they get like this rubbery like fake
Mm.
glass spread all over the floor, so it just takes a lot of time to just do like things that wouldn't like it'll show up for like 10 seconds on screen, but it'll be like an hour of just preparation and all that stuff, and then they need to teach us all the stunts and stuff, like the part where my face gets slammed into a window, like you remember that little
Yeah, yeah,
hallway thing.
I
Hmm.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really fun to film because but like thing is like you need to keep the timing right because the camera has other fights to go to, and you need to keep the timing like perfect because they need to move, and like as soon as one fight's like done they need to go to the next fight and next fight, and it's jumping around all over the place, so we need to make sure everything's like on the right like rhythm, and then like I don't know, it's my face getting slammed in the window. Like we had to make sure we did that perfect because if we didn't, and like I didn't turn my face, my actual face would get slammed into the window. And
Mm.
we had I remember in the background. I'm not sure if anybody told you about this, but in season 2, at the fight, to make it look like there's like fighting going on in the background, people would just be like pretty much dancing in the background just to make it look like there's movement happening back there.
Okay.
And so I remember we did that at the house too. Like if you, I'm not sure if you can see it, but like in the background, if you see, sometimes me and Owen are just like going like this, like shaking around and flailing our arms because if everybody's just standing there waiting for their fight and you see it in the background, it looks really really weird.
It'll stick out. Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks better to just flail around, I guess.
Yeah, I every time I watch the fight, I'm always looking in the background. And recently, our friend Watch Party did a video about that fight, and there's one sequence where he like zooms into I couldn't tell who it was, but it was like two people in the background, and like after they fought, I think they like kind of dropped down and like hid on the floor, but they just like laid there, and so it kind of sticks out. Not only like okay, well, there's two people laying down, but they're just also just literally just laying there doing nothing. So it kind
Mhm.
of stands out. So I do wonder that you probably don't remember how many takes it took, right? Clearly it was a lot.
I don't remember exactly. It was such a
Yeah.
crazy
Oh, man.
whatever whole full scene. The entire scene was crazy, just everything filming.
Yeah.
Everyone we've talked to about that, I keep envisioning the camera like on a track or something, but there's not one. Was that a handheld that was done with?
uh,
Or was it like on a cart that someone was pushing?
Maybe
Because that
so
someone
I
thing's
was
think
going
for
wearing.
that
crazy, spinning around in circles.
I think for that one, they have like those rolly chairs like where it has like 6 different like legs with like wheels.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's just like one of those, I think,
Mm.
for that one. But it's like a stool. There's no back of the chair. So they're just spinning around and like recording all this. I think that's the one that they used. They
Oh
might have
my
used
gosh.
one of those like stabilizer things, but
Right, right, a steady cam.
yeah, a Steadicam. But I think that's the one that they use. I know that's what they used in season 2 fight,
Oh my
the
god, a
episode 10
steady
season 2.
cam on a rolly chair. I never would have thought that's what that was filmed on. That's
Sometimes you got to
amazing.
improvise. So Josh directed that episode. Now, when they're directing, are the directors like off to the side looking like on a monitor, or is he kind of right there with the camera since it's kind of a tight spot?
Yeah, no, they have their own little like setup thing. So um, they have like a little tent thing, and they call it like Video Village or something
Hmm. Yeah.
because it's like a dark place with like these tiny little monitors, maybe the size of like a large phone or something,
Hmm.
or like maybe a really small tablet, and they just have two of them, and they have a guy doing the focus, I guess. I'm
Oh,
not sure,
okay.
like at like live, like he's doing it as they're filming, and
Mm.
then they have all the writers in that little tent with the directors, and it depends on where they are. Like I know most of the time when we're at Miyagi-Do, they're like in the tent, but like I think when they're inside and start as like I think they're like right behind the camera sometimes, or it's just different all the time. But I think for that specific time, they were just like off to the side, like where the Christmas tree was.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's like that's like around the area that they were.
Mm.
So, I know that Jacob was talking about this fight, and like Sholo, and I think he said Josie at some point. I can't pronounce his last name yet. I will learn.
Mhm.
Oh,
Um, uh,
Josa. Yeah.
no, not
Yeah.
Oh,
Josa. Joe, the new character, Rickenbacker.
oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Okay, the
Had
letter
to,
C. Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yeah, Joe the letter C.
Like
Um,
Chikar or so,
yeah,
or yeah,
had
yeah.
to pick the coffee table up and then put it back down. Did you and Owen have to lift any furniture, move any props around, anything that was like your responsibility like that?
at the final, like the final fight at
Yeah,
season three.
yeah, yeah.
No, we didn't really have anything like that. I know that they hid like a little radio. Like I think it was Hiro. He has like a little radio, and he would hide another one. I think there's like a little bench like around the hallway that we are in, and he put it like behind the leg of the bench, and so he would just tell us, pretty much just tell us like what to do. Like he'd be like, okay, get ready to go, 3, 2, 1, go, and he would like tell us exactly, like he'd guide us. So there's never anything that we were like responsible for doing, especially since there's so much glass going around that they want to keep all the actors safe. So
Right.
Are you guys doing ADR for those fights?
I think I'm not sure about that fight, but maybe there was some, but there's a lot of ADR for the whole whatever the car wash scene,
Mm.
because we have these little mics that go on our chests, but like because I'm getting like pushed around and choked and stuff, the audio doesn't come out clear because all the fabric's pressing against the microphone and stuff. And so I guess the audio just wasn't like that as good. So I did ADR for that. I know for season 2 fight, I did some ADR for the final fight thing. But I think for season 3, I did maybe a little bit, but not anything crazy.
Hmm. And Tiffany's the one that mics you guys up, right?
Yep, she is.
Okay. Yeah, she's the very first person we've ever met part of the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just we were on our way to go meet Hayden to visit the set,
Mm-hmm.
and her and I we were just like passing each other, and I recognized her from Instagram immediately.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I follow everybody, just to
Yeah.
just like a lot of the fans do. And I want to talk to her at some point too. So as we get ready to wrap up, I think the last sequence we want to talk about is the finale, where you guys are in the back of Miyagi-Do, and Owen mentioned that was filmed before the fight.
Yeah, that was because how they had it was, I'm not sure. Wait, was that? Yeah, so I think that's filmed before the fight. And we just all went to the backyard. I think that was the first time that any of the Cobra Kai
Mm.
Eagle Fang people had ever been there. And I thought it was funny that like I'm just okay with Hawk coming in, like even though he beat me up like not that long ago. And
Or broke Dimitri's arm.
yeah,
Right, Dimitri's
yeah,
hugging
I
on
know,
him.
right? They just all of a sudden they're just friends again after he just like destroyed his arm.
We needed a
Um,
side eye from Nathaniel when
yeah,
Hawk walks in.
but it's pretty funny that like everybody's friends, and then I don't know, it's cool because it's like I think did they use a crane for that where it's like was it like a high up shot of
I
that?
think there was one.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
were a
Yeah.
couple different combinations of shots, and then close
Uh,
ups of,
yeah.
like Eli and Dimitri, like, bro shouldering, and then Chris and Mitch's hug just like it gets me right in the heart because it's so warm and heartfelt, and then Bert and Nate are like, yeah, whatever.
Well, I mean, well, Chris and Mitch are
Best friends forever.
Yeah, well, I don't want to take anything from a lot of the other pairings, but Chris and Mitch, they've been friends for a really long time, just like
Right.
Dimitri and Hawk or
Right.
Eli. Yeah. So,
So this we see the setting aside of the rivalry that we never actually see get started. What's your take on what exactly is the beef between Nate and Bert?
Yeah, I was always wondering that. I'm like, I'm not really sure why they hate each other so much. Like they just go to rival dojos. Now they're friends, I guess. So.
have you ever spoken with Michael, the writer?
Yeah, I have.
Because
Uh,
he wrote Popo, where you guys had the
To stare off.
yeah, this the stare off, and then obviously he wrote the
he wrote a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
what's the episode? Brianna 309. I don't know the titles yet.
Oh, oh crap.
Yeah, but anyway, he wrote that, right? So obviously,
yeah, you put me on the spot with it.
Sorry. So those were the lines that Nate and Bert have the back and forth. When he came on, he just said basically he loves the idea that these two just hate each other for like no reason.
Just for yeah, just because they get
Yeah.
rival dojos or something.
Right. So it makes it fun to kind of like theorize what is it exactly,
Yeah.
that the beef is. But I think the first time he came on, he gave some insight that Bert is probably like, no, fuck that guy. I'm the little guy. Like what So
Yeah.
that's Bert's beef. And so I'm not sure about Nathaniel.
Feel the night.
Feel the night.
Sorry.
Oh, hello. Yeah.
I just remembered.
Yeah, the music
Sorry.
song title.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so I have
Brianna.
to ask about the finale because you were present for it. When Billy walked around that corner, did you realize what you were witnessing and what that was going to mean?
I thought that was because well, first of all, I didn't know what was happening in the fourth season. Like nobody, I'm not sure like if they had written anything or if they did, they probably didn't have like.
Yeah, we don't know what's
like,
going on in the fourth season either.
Thing.
So
yeah.
So I was like, what? Like I was like, well, I really wanted to know what was happening because it's just like a cliffhanger. Like even for me, it was a cliffhanger because I didn't know like what was supposed to be happening. I'm like, yeah, they're teaming up, but how is that going to work? Because they're like, they're so different and stuff.
And that's so meta too, because the students themselves are wondering the same damn thing.
Right. But I mean, did you know what that was going to mean to people, like me, oldie nerds that, have been watching, that have been waiting for, 36 years to see the resolution of this relationship?
Yeah.
Did you know it was going to be as powerful as it was?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be big, but it was a really, really like strong scene. I think it was really good that they chose to use at the very end of the season. Kind of keeps everybody wondering, and it's also kind of good, like ties loose ends because it's like they're finally together or whatever, but still kind of makes you wonder, like, hey, what's going to happen next season? So I think they did a really good job with just picking out that scene as the final thing that happens in the season.
Okay.
Oh gosh, see now I almost had something that was really. Oh, Eagle Fang. What do you think of that damn name?
Oh yeah, I thought that was really funny. It was just the okay, so I don't really want to give away
Okay, all right.
seasons 4, but he's always he's very, the character of Johnny is, he just goes with whatever sounds coolest, even though it doesn't always make sense. And yeah, it's really funny just to see his, like, I don't know, his character like do stuff. So like you'll see later, he's very different from Dimitri, is all I'm gonna say later on. And yeah, it was really funny seeing how, like, just the name, because I didn't know about the name because I wasn't in. I don't think I got that script for the episode where they choose the name as Eagle Fang. I didn't know until, I think it might have been Aiden Owen told me, and like I wasn't expecting that at all. Like, because I didn't know what's going on at the time.
Did you
Yeah, it
have
was
a
really funny.
record? Did you have a record scratch moment when they told you and you're just like,
Yeah, I was like, what? Eagle Fang. Like, yeah, and then the logo is hilarious too because
Yeah.
it's like an eagle, and inside of the beak is like, yeah,
fangs with blood on it?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Brianna, anything else? That's
Nope.
pretty much it. Okay. All right.
Cool.
So Nate, thank you so much for joining in.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you
Anything
for
else
having me.
Yeah. No, you have an open invitation. Everybody does, really. Why don't you throw out your socials just in case some of the people don't follow you? And again, you guys, 15 years old, behave.
Yes.
I am. You can find me on Instagram at oh period NATE, all lowercase, all one word. Yeah, and it'll be a picture of me because it's my account. So
All right. Brianna, you?
I am Brianna25. Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, YouTube, Archive of Our Own, fanfiction.net, and Instagram.
All right. For me on Twitter, Cobra Kai Pod, Cobra Kai Podcast, on Instagram, and that'll do it. When this comes out, I don't know. Hopefully, we've already done an episode review, but we got some other interviews lined up, and we're really excited about it too. So,
Yep.
Thanks again, Nate, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Bye, y'all.
can't wait for you guys to see it.
Cobra Kai.